Hi guys, Miss O'Connell here. So we should have our graphing match lab up. I'm just going to show you a few things about Logger Pro in case we have any issues with the lab. You should be in your lab groups. Please make sure that you are with your lab partners, whether they're in school or virtual. Again, if you have any questions, I am available via email. So we're going to finish up the graphing match activity today. I believe that we are all on step number 7. So in Logger Pro, what we'll see on our screen to open back the graph in which you began to explain how you would walk, you're going to go to File, Open. Under Open, it should be set to Logger Pro, Experiments. You want to find where it says Physics with Vernier. Physics with Vernier. And you're going to click Physics with Vernier. That'll open up another set of experiments. For the position versus time graph in which you began to describe how to walk, you're going to open 0, 1B. Okay, and this is also in the directions. So you're opening 0, 1B, graph matching, and you're going to click Open. Once you click Open, that graph will appear on your screen. When you plug the motion detector into your Mac and press this green button for play, it will show you your motion relative to the graph, the target graph that is on your screen. You want to do your best to match that trend line exactly. So this might take a few trials, and that's okay. You're going to describe, meaning write out each step of directions to walk the graph, and that should be underneath number 7. So think about when we defined reference frames, right? Where should the person start? How long are they at that position? Which direction are they walking? For how long are they walking? Where should they stop? For how long should they stop? Okay, so you want to make sure that we have a starting point, an ending point, the direction, and values with units to describe motion. Okay, so please make sure that's in your description. Then test out your description by physically walking the target graph. Again, this might take a few trials, and that's okay. Do your best. Once you have a target graph that you are happy with, you're going to screenshot, so Command-Shift-4, select your whole graph, and again, you're going to drag and drop that into your group lab. I am trusting here that we are all participating, right? Each of your names is going on that lab. Okay, if an individual in your group is not pulling their weight, do not write their name on the lab. Okay, so we're working together while we're doing this. You're going to need probably someone to time, someone to give verbal directions while the walking is occurring, and someone to man or operate the Logger Pro. So again, description goes underneath number 7. Your screenshot of your best graph we'll go underneath number 9 where it says graph 2. You can pause the video when you're done pasting your graph underneath number 9. Unpause the video. Okay, so now that you've matched your target graph for position versus time, we're going to now take a look at the analysis questions for part 2. So answer the analysis questions for part 2 before you head to part 3. To do that, you have to scroll to the last page. We're looking at analysis part 2. We should all be contributing to these answers as we type our answer below the question in the Google Doc. So describe how you walked for each of the graphs that you matched. Okay, so you should already have at least some draft of that underneath number 7. Okay, 2, explain the significance of the slope of a graph first time, include a discussion of positive and negative slopes. So you might want to reference graph 1 and the other graphs in which you might not have images of, but that we tried out in lab. So we walked towards the motion detector, we walked away at a slow rate, we walked further away at a slower rate. Okay, so when possible, in 1 through 5, please reference any graphs or physical trials that you did while explaining your answers. And again, we're handing in 1 per group. It's important that we all collaborate on these analysis questions. Once you're done with part 2 analysis, we're going to head to part 3. So I'm going to scroll back up to where we see number 6. Underneath 6, it says open the experiment file. Oh, sorry. We're going to go to step 12, where it says open the experiment file O1D match graphing. O1D match graphing. So we're going to go to Logger Pro. We're going to go to File, Open, and we're going to select O1D match graphing, and we're going to click Open. We see here that we have a velocity versus time graph, right? A velocity versus time graph. So this one is a little bit more complicated. So you need to match this velocity versus time graph. So we need to walk or move with no velocity for a certain amount of time, right? And then we need to have a velocity of 0.5 meters per second for a certain amount of time. Okay, so consider how velocity and position are related. How velocity and position are related. So we know that velocity depends on displacement. If we know the velocity or the slope during a specific time interval, we can find how far you can walk or need to walk. So you can either use the equation for velocity, which is change in position over change in time. Please make sure that you pay close attention to your changes in time. So 4.5 minus 2. Okay, that would be our change in time. You have the velocity, you want to find the position, or delta x, so how far you must move. So you want to use the velocity equation to determine how far you must move during what time period. Again, this is going to be a little bit trickier. It's going to take you a little bit longer, and that's okay. Do your best to finish this up and to match this target graph together as a group. Okay, once you've matched and are happy with the target graph, you're going to screenshot and paste it underneath graph number 3. Okay, you're going to remove the masking tape from the floor, throw it out, and you're going to answer analysis questions part 3. Okay, so we are completing this lab together as a group for this lab only. So one person per group should be submitting the matched graphs, the analysis questions, and we are all collaborating on this assignment. If you have any questions, please send me an email. Okay, do your best. You should be able to finish this up by the end of the period. I will see you guys soon. Have a good day.